Tune in
You are now tuned into
to the realest show on YouTube with your host, the Angryman.
Well. George Bryce says, how did he gaslight an entire generation? Now, by the looks of your photo, George, you look to be in my age bracket, maybe a little older. You should have some patience by now, my friend. How many of y'all remember that scene on Belly after they had robbed the that club, and then they went back to Tommy's house, and Tommy's in there shooting pool, and old boy that played Weebay off of the wire, he's like, yo, come on, y'all, let's count this money, before y'all start stashing shit. And Nas, he reached over, he tapped him like. So Tommy comes walking in there with the pool stick. He said, Weebay's like, yo, I'm just playing, baby. It ain't like that. Now say sorry. Because you hurt my feelings. He's like, this nigga serious? Why he say that? He said that because everybody know the routine. They wait until they go to his man's grandmother's basement to count the money. You feel me? If you have watched my channel long enough, you know that I have a routine. Okay? And the one thing you don't do is you don't come in here while we're vibing to the music and try to rush me into talking about the topic. How many people know that already? Press a 1 in the chat if you already know that. How many people know that? Yeah, see, George, you might not mean no harm, but you violating, brother. Gots to have some patience. We gonna get to the topic. And I don't know if you noticed or not, but whenever y'all come in here and try to rush me into the topic, you actually give me the opportunity to delay the topic by addressing you and what you're saying. How many people peep that? And see, there's a reason why. Being the Gen X eccentric, hard-headed, rebellious Sigma that I am, I refuse to be rushed. I refuse to be bossed around. I refuse to be manipulated. Now, I'm not saying that that's what you're doing, but usually that's the reason why people do that. They come in and they don't really want to listen to the music. I might be playing something that, is not really their cup of tea. And so they'll ask a question in the chat because they know that I like to respond to the chat. So, they'll ask a question, you feel what I'm saying? And, usually they do that because they're trying to rush me. Not to say that you're doing that, you feel what I'm saying? But, it is what it is. Shout out to Treese for the membership. Appreciate you, Treese. Oh, sweet Jesus, do we have a lot to talk about. How about the cojones, the huevos on Donald Trump? Did y'all see what he did earlier today? How many of y'all saw what he did earlier today? He went back to Butler. It's Butler, right? Butler, Pennsylvania. He went back to the place where they tried to take his head off. I ain't gonna front. That was gutsy. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't think I would have wanted to go back there. He went back to Butler, Pennsylvania. And not only did he go back to Butler, Pennsylvania, but he brought out Elon. He brought out Elon Musk. Like, yo, it's a wrap. Like, let me tell you something. This is one of the things that I completely and totally understand. If you're not going to vote for this guy for president, the guy that almost got his head blown off, but went back to the same location and said, hey, I'm back out here again. What's good? Like that, bruh, I'm starting to really feel like out of every president that we've had, Donald Trump is the most gangster president. Like real spill. Like at the end of the day, who can we really compare on that level of gangsterdom? Who? This man is by far the most gangster president that we've ever had. Like, I don't even know what to say. And by the way, did y'all see how many people were there? Check this out. Let's pause it right there. Look at that. Look at that. Do y'all see that? Look at that. Just look at that. Let me illustrate something for you. First of all, let's be clear about something. Right now at this moment, and I don't know how many of you guys are religious, right? But right now at this moment, I can say definitively that God does not like the Democratic Party. He doesn't. He doesn't. Why do I say that? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, the way that bullet narrowly missed Donald Trump, the only explanation for it is divine intervention. There's no other way to describe it. You know, unless the Flash exists in another dimension and he came to this dimension and ran up there and you know, the Flash or Quicksilver ran up there and tilted his head ever so slightly so that the bullet would only nick his ear. The only other explanation for it is divine intervention. I don't see any other explanation. Okay, so you got that, right? Then in addition to that, remember in the Bible when it talked about Pharaoh? And no matter how many plagues the Almighty visited upon Egypt, the Pharaoh's heart was just hardened. In other words, he just kept doubling and tripling and quadrupling down. What do you notice about Kamala? It's almost like God hardened her heart because she will not answer simple questions, even though she know it's hurting her. Even though she know it's hurting her campaign, she still goes out and she rattles off the same BS, right? So that's two things, right? Also, if you remember in the good book, it said a house divided against itself cannot stand. Right? How can Satan cast out Satan, right? With everything you see Joe Biden doing right now, does that or does that not look like a house divided against itself? Going all the way back to when he did the first debate with Donald Trump and the Democrats wanted to get him up out of there and he didn't want to go. And now that they swapped him out with Kamala, he seems to be disgruntled, with because I don't care what type of cognitive issues Joe Biden is going through. Prior to that situation, he would have never put a Trump hat on. He would have never done that. This man put a Trump hat on. This man got up on The View and said that Kamala had just as much power as him and was with him every step of the way. He just did a press conference in the middle of her freaking rally saying that she was instrumental in every law that they passed. That is a house divided against itself. That's three. That's three things. Now, here's the fourth thing that nobody's talking about, right? The Harris-Biden administration misused, misappropriated, whatever you want to call it, FEMA funds in order to give the migrants money. Now, here's the interesting thing. You would have never known, the American people, you would have never known that funding came from FEMA if it wasn't for what? The hurricane. So because the hurricane Helena hit America, and by the way, yesterday and day before yesterday, I kept saying Eastern North Carolina. I meant Western North Carolina. Because that hurricane hit Western North Carolina, some of Tennessee, some of Georgia, and now FEMA has to, allocate funds, it's like, uh-oh. It's kind of like if you got, you got a little can that sits on top of the refrigerator and you put grocery money in there, and one day one of you decide, ooh, you know what? I'm going to take some of that grocery money and go buy a flat screen TV. And then your wife running there is like, oh my God, we got to hurry up and go get toilet paper and other essentials because there's about to be a strike at the ports. And she reaches in there and almost all of the money is gone. And you're standing there like, uh-oh. That's not what that money was for. You got some splaining to do. Joe Biden, Kamala, you got some splaining to do. But I'm sitting back and I'm watching as certain things are happening. And I'm not even going to front. The way it looks from every angle, it looks like God is on Trump's side. Like, I'm sorry. That's what it looked like to me. And I hate to be, what's the word for it? What's the word for it? Is the word hyperbolic? Is that the word? I don't know if that's the word. I don't know if that's the right word. But it really feel like, look at this crowd, man. Look at this crowd. Now I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the God's honest truth. We know for a fact that Kamala's not popular. We know this for a fact. Man, there better not be no shenanigans this time around. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh my God, look at the record number of people. She's the most popular. I don't want to hear that shit this time. Now, I don't know about y'all. I don't want to hear that shit this time. Look at that crowd. That is insane. That is insane, bro. That is insane. Now, keep in mind, right here is where the stage is at. And I think they got some bulletproof glass this time. But right there is where the stage is at. You got the people behind them. And this is the audience. This is unbelievable. And keep in mind, this is Pennsylvania. What is significant about Pennsylvania, y'all? Somebody tell me. What is significant about Pennsylvania? Jerome said, yo, AM, you being led by the Holy Spirit tonight. What is significant about Pennsylvania? What is significant about Pennsylvania is Kamala cannot lose Pennsylvania. If she loses Pennsylvania, she loses the presidency. She cannot lose Pennsylvania. If she does, she'll be in a world of shit. She's already in a world of shit. Let's just be honest. She's already in a world of shit. She's already in a world of shit. There was a news reporter that was somewhere in Pennsylvania and was asking the people if they support Kamala. And man, that silence was deafening. Let's see if we can find it. I don't know if y'all saw it. Did y'all see it? And this is the crazy thing. The crazy thing is when you try to go look it up on YouTube and it doesn't come up. You gotta comb through everything to find it. But the dude was like, how many of you people out here support Kamala Harris? Yo, they was looking at him like he was speaking some kind of alien language. Like it was the funniest thing I've ever witnessed in my life. They were looking at him like nigga, what? El Jabaro said, "Do you think they'll put us in war to delay Trump from being?" No, no, no. I do not. I do not. I don't. My thing is this: like every time there's an election now, there's always like some kind of conspiracy theory. I don't really like to indulge in conspiracy theories. You feel me? I don't see no purpose in that. But the interesting thing, they decided to bring out Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me see. Let me see if my man got the video over here. He might have it. Let's see. Let's see if Deveroy Darkins has it. He might have the video. Nah, he doesn't have the video. I gotta find the video. Reporter asks. Here it is right here. Check this out.
Candidate in the 2024 presidential election. Now, let's just stop right here. By a mark.
Not working yet.
I mean, it's interesting that Kamala Harris has taken a side. I wonder if they support Kamala Harris.
I could ask that question. Maria Bartiromo back in the studio. She said, you know, we got a presidential election going on now. I hate to bring this up, but you support your union guy. Vice President Harris supports the strike.
Hold on. We gotta get this on the big screen. We gotta get this on the big screen. uh we got to get this on the big screen. Who what is that lady's name? What is that lady's name? Do y'all know that lady's name?
Not working yet.
I mean, it's interesting that it's.
What's the name of that lady that's on the, I forget her name. What is her freaking name? The lady on Fox News. This lady right here. What is her name? Do y'all know her name? I can't remember her name. Trying my best to remember her name. Maria. Let's see, Maria. Let's see. We gotta find this. Okay, I think this is it. I think this might be it. Is that it?
Well, a 70 specific examples because
Oh my God.
$45,000.
They trying their best to hide this shit.
With these,
they don't want people to see that shit. They don't want people to see that shit, bro.
Chris, clear.
They don't want people to see that shit, bro. Where is the news
It
clip?
needs food and they need supplies. Yeah.
Yo, does anybody have that news clip? Does anybody have that news clip? I need that news clip. If anybody has the link, somebody drop the link.
How many folks support Vice President Harris? Any hands? No hands. Wow. Okay. It's nobody's business, says one man. So there you go. I tried Maria, and
Interesting. Yeah.
there you go.
Wow. Interesting. Well,
how many folks support Vice President Harris? Any hands? No hands. Wow. Okay. It's nobody's business, says one man. So there you go. I tried.
Bruh. Bruh, it don't get no worse than that. It don't get no worse than that, bro. It don't get no worse than that. Like, did you see the way they were looking at him when he said it? He almost seemed like he was scared to ask. Bruh seemed like he was scared to ask. And keep in mind, look, if you notice, this is a mixture of people. This lady right here looks like she could possibly be Latin. We got a sister right here. We got a couple white guys. We got a couple brothers right here. Got another brother right here. Another dude look like he might be Latin.
How many folks support Vice President Harris? Any hands? No hands. Wow. Okay. It's nobody's business, says one man. So there you go. I tried Maria, and
interesting. Yeah.
there you go.
Wow. Interesting. Well,
how many folks support?
Yeah. It's pretty much a wrap for her. It's pretty much a wrap. I mean, what can you do with that? There's literally nothing you can do with that. By the way, if you're just coming in here, hit the Cash App and support the show. We need 10 people to hit the Cash App. What's going on with the support? So let's get to Mr. Magic Johnson. Mr. Magic Johnson. So this is what Magic Johnson had to say.
Now, there's a lot of black men in here, and I don't mean to, not talk to other people, but this is important. Our black men, we got to get them out to vote. That's number one.
Okay, so there's so much to say here. I haven't even played the whole thing, and I'm already offended. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm already offended. I haven't even played the whole thing, and already I'm offended. Shout out to Tony07. Appreciate you. I'm already offended. I'm already extremely offended. Shout out to D-Rock D, and he said, I'm so disappointed in Magic. Shout out to Randy, he said Trump 2024. Now look, I'm gonna cook about this, but before I really cook, we need some more support. So I need you guys to hit the Cash App and support the show. Because this is... You know what? Let me play it again.
Now, there's a lot of black men in here, and I don't mean to, not talk to other people, but this is important. Our black men, we got to get them out to vote. That's number one.
Why does this society think that it can condescend to black men? He said, I don't mean to talk to just one group, but we got a lot of black men here. We got to get our black men to go out and vote. Nigga, who the hell do you think you are? What do you mean? We gotta get these black men out to vote as if we're children that you have to take by the hand and walk down to the local voting precinct and give us a lollipop after we voted. Who the fuck do you think you are? Better yet, let me just ask this question. When it comes to all of you celebrities, who the hell do you think you are? And do you think for 1 second that we don't know every single time there is a voting cycle, you have countless celebrities coming out to endorse the Democrats? It's always heavier on that side. Have y'all noticed that? Shout out to Yvette. It's always heavier. Do y'all really think that we don't know y'all's asses is bought and paid for? And I'm not even saying monetarily. I'm saying influence, favors, whatever. Shout out to Mac 100. You know what, matter of fact, before I even go in, let me just play the whole thing so you can hear what this tap dancing, cooning Negro had to say.
Now, there's a lot of black men in here, and I don't mean to, not talk to other people, but this is important. Our black men, we got to get them out to vote. That's number one. Kamala's opponent promised a lot of things last time to the black community that he did not deliver on. And we got to make sure we help black men understand that. So that's why I'm here, to make sure I help black men understand. First, get out and vote, and then vote for the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris.
This right here is the face of a buck-broken Negro. A buck-broken, tap-dancing, shucking and jiving, clown-ass Negro. There's no other way to fucking describe it. There's no other way to describe it. Shout out to Mogul Mays. He said, reminds me of what Taraji said, but this space has had a global impact, especially your channel. They know the jig is up. Shout out to Christopher. Appreciate you. Shout out to Gone Postal. Appreciate you. Shout out to Tall. He said Magic Johnson can shut the F up. And look, some of y'all are going to say to me, like the brother asked at the beginning of the show. He said, how has Magic Johnson gaslit an entire generation? I tell you how he gaslit an entire generation. When he came out back in the day and told that lie that he had HIV. That's how he gaslit an entire generation. See, they've been using this Negro to trick black folk. They've been using this Negro to trick black folk going all the way back to the early 90s. And some of you Negroes fall for it. Some of you Negroes believe it. Some of you Negroes believe it. You'll be like, oh, well, he doesn't have it anymore because he never had it in the first damn place. Never had it in the first place. Stan said, you think it was a lie? Yes, I think it was a lie. Yes, I think it was a lie. QD Exec says, since we take direction from Magic Johnson. Since when did we take direction from Magic Johnson? He can't wag his finger at us like we his little homies. Like Mace said, who the F is this ninja? Exactly.
No, chill for what? Who is this nigga?
Yeah, like at the end of the day, that's how I feel.
No, chill for what? Who is this nigga?
Who is this nigga? Who is this nigga? Let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask y'all a question. Okay, so since everybody, you wanted to believe that lie, because see, you got to realize that shit was said during a time where everybody believed everything that somebody say on TV, right? Everybody believes everything that somebody say on TV, right? You believe everything that somebody say on TV, right? So let me ask you guys a question. I'm gonna ask you a question, and I want you to think real hard about it. I want you to think real hard about it. When did Magic Johnson announce that he had the bug? When did he announce it? I'm gonna need you folks to put your thinking caps on for a second. When did he announce this horrific news? What year was it? 1992. 92. How many years ago was that? How many years ago was that? He owns the crown, says, shut up and dribble. Exactly. How many years? And by the way, anybody that's donating to the channel today will get a wrench. How many years has that been? Hmm? 32 years? $32 years. Now, if you remember, back in the early 90s, right? Let's see, Bomber Monk Assassin said it was late 91 when he made the announcement. Let me ask you guys a question. I'm going to ask you just a couple of things. Right? So, we're saying 91, 92, right? 91, 92, right? 91, 92. When was the bug first announced in the United States? When was the first cases of the bug in the United States? Do you know? When was the first cases? The first cases were reported in June of 1981. So about 10 years later, Magic Johnson announces that he has it. So it's announced 81. 10 years later, one of the most popular basketball players at the time announces that he has it. Excuse me, let me be more specific. June of 1981, it's announced. 10 years later, one of the most popular black athletes announces that he has it. Shout out to John Doe. He said in the early 90s, if you had the package, your goose was cooked. when we found out about Eazy-E, he was gone within weeks. Facts. Because back then, if you got that, it was a death sentence. Back then, if you got that, it was a death sentence. Just no ifs, ands, and buts about it. It's a wrap for you. You can hang it up. You're donezo, right? But Magic gets it. Magic gets it and miraculously survives, right? P. Rothstein said he does not have it. If he did, he would have died by now. So he doesn't have it, or if he does have it, why is he not telling us about the cure? Black men are voting. We aren't voting for a liar and a very bad actress. Bruh. He's a liar. He's a liar. Okay? Now, I got two other things to point out about the whole situation. And after I point out these two things, if you still believe he's telling the truth, I don't know what to tell you. Right? And look, everybody in the chat room is giving me all of the reasons he was able to, you feel what I'm saying? All of these, all of these ridiculous reasons. I'm going to ask y'all two questions. I'm going to ask you two questions. First question. Did Cookie divorce Magic Johnson? Do 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 doot 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 doot. So Cookie stayed married and is still currently married to a dude that allegedly got the bug from cheating on her. Let me ask you a question. Is Shaq's wife still married to him? Is Michael Jordan's wife still married to him? So you got Negroes that ain't even got the bug and they wives bounced on them over whatever excuse, but the bug is not an excuse to bounce? John said not only did he allegedly survive it, he also gained 60 pounds. How, Sway? So that was the first thing I wanted to ask you guys. Is Magic divorced? The answer is no. Here's another question for you. Here's another little tidbit for you, just in case you're wondering. Who was the doctor that handled the AIDS crisis? Who was he? Dr. Anthony S. Fauci. QD exec said it was initially called GERD. Oh, you know what related immune deficiency they attributed to you know who relations at first, but they didn't want to stigmatize. Wait a minute. Let me. I remember there was a big controversy around the original name and how that particular community did not want to be stigmatized and blamed for that particular illness. I remember that being a big thing. I remember it getting to the point where they were saying, we got to stop blaming them for this particular illness. Because they were trying to say that the only people that were getting it was, how could they change people's minds? Maybe. If they have a heterosexual male who's popular, just happens to get it. Excuse me. Trey Banger says, how is he supposed to have black men listen to him when he lets his son walk around? Yep. Jerome said, remember when he did the Nick News special on Nickelodeon with Little Black Girl? He did show with ending up, but he's still alive. Shout out to Stan. He said, damn, AM, you effed me up just now, but what would be his motivation to wear that kind of jacket this long? That check must have been insane. Like, I really don't know what to say to you guys. You know, I don't want to just outright say it. I wish you guys could read between the lines and connect the dots and, you know. I mean, it's right there. It's right there for you to see. Plain and simple. You're asking what was the motivation. It's right there. Beastly Nerd said, damn, Angry Columbo solves it again. P. Rothstein said, and after he got it magically, he just had enough money to start opening up movie theaters and things like that. He was only being paid $1 million a year. Oh, P. Rothstein. P. Rothstein. What is his net worth right now? Magic Johnson is worth $1.2 billion. $1.2 billion. $1.2 billion. 1.2. So when you ask me how he gaslit an entire generation, and here he is yet again gaslighting you. But let's get back to the condescending tone in which he decided to address black men. There's a lot of black men out here. And I hate to talk to just one group, but we got to get these black men out and get them to vote. First of all, sir, the fact that you're standing up there at a Democratic rally saying that you got to get black men out here to vote, we know you're talking specifically about getting them to vote for Democrats. So my first question is, why do black men have to automatically vote for Democrats? And like I said before, why is it you think that black men have to be led to the polls to vote? Why do you think you have to grab black men by their hand and walk them down to the polls? Now, you know you's got to go in there and vote for Mala. You know you got to vote for Mala. Do you realize that there has never been a point in U.S. history where a Republican candidate got up on the podium and said, we got to get these black folk to go out here and vote? Now, if that has occurred, I've never seen it. I've never seen it. Why do you think that is? Why do you think the Republican Party has never had a Republican candidate or individuals at a Republican rally that's endorsing the Republican candidate go out on the stage and try to shame black people, specifically black men, into voting? Why do you think that's never happened? Can anybody answer that question? QE exec said historically they've never needed the black vote to get elected. That is not true. That's not true. Every candidate needs the black vote to get elected. Why? because when you look at the large number of white people in the country, 200 and some million, they're usually split down the middle when it comes to the two parties, which means the minority vote, which includes black people, is usually what swings the pendulum one way or the other. So no, my friend, that's actually incorrect. They have always needed the black vote. Both parties. Both parties. The Republicans just don't pander for it. So it gives the impression that they don't need it, but they do. Said from a pandering aspect, they never had in our because they've never, because they're not gonna do it. And you know the reason why they're not gonna do it? It goes right back to this, it goes right back to what I'm saying right now. Why is it the Republican Party and those that endorse the Republican Party, why is it they've never come out on a podium during a rally and tried to shame black people into voting for them, specifically black men? Why have they never done that? Can anybody answer that question? Can anybody answer that question? Why have they never done that? Miss Sweeney said they don't have to. No, that's not why. That's not why. They want the black vote too. They want the black vote. Okay, nobody has the answer. So let me help you guys out. The reason why the Republicans and those that endorse the Republicans will never go out on a stage during a rally and shame black people into voting for them is because it would be considered racist. That's why they don't do it. Same way Joe Biden can say, they're going to take, if we don't do something, they're going to take black jobs, and nobody has an issue with it. But if Trump says they're going to take black jobs, oh, he's being racist. See, the problem is we don't hold the Democrats to the same standard that we hold the Republicans. If you really think about it, for Magic Johnson to stand up there on that podium and address a mixed audience of all races and say, we need to get these black men to vote, is one of the most racist, condescending things that anybody could ever do. And nobody's going to call him out on it. You are talking to a mixed audience of Americans. Why in the crispity fuck are you singling out black men? In fact, there should be no such thing as the Latino vote or the black vote. That shouldn't be a thing. There should only be voters, period. There should only be voters. When was the last time you heard somebody say, we got to get the Asian vote? When was the last time you heard somebody say, we got to get the white vote? When was the last time you heard somebody say, we got to get the Italian vote? We got to get the German vote. We got to get the Irish vote. We got to get the Jamaican vote. We got to get the African vote. When was the last time you heard that? We got to get the Haitian vote. Think about this for a second. Let this sink in. Don't you find it strange that in major cities, they have a little Italy, they have a Chinatown, they have specific areas for specific races or nationalities. But you never hear anybody pandering for the vote of those nationalities. But on the flip side, black people don't have a little African America in cities. And they're always pandering for our vote. Just let that sink in for a second. Just let that sink in for a second. In New York, there's a little Italy. In New York, there's a Spanish Harlem. There's a Chinatown. When have you ever heard a politician get up there and said, yeah, we got to get the Chinese vote? See, the problem is because they look at your vote as being different, this is the reason why you never get anything for your vote. This is the reason why you never get anything for your vote. You got other individuals. And y'all forgive me, I need a battery for my mouse. Y'all hold on 1 second. You see, when it comes to every other vote, they treat everybody else's vote with dignity and respect. They don't treat your vote with dignity and respect. Because let me tell you something. The only reason why they're able to operate like that with the black vote is because black folks are always begging for something. The reason why they pander to you is because you want to be pandered to. Now, before you try to say, oh, but other groups get things, yeah, but guess what? There's a difference between someone pandering to you to get your vote and not give you shit, as opposed to someone, what's a better word? There's a better word for, they pander for the black vote, but they lobby for everybody else's. That's a better way to put it. They pander for the black vote, but they lobby for everybody else's. Shout out to Avery. Appreciate you. In other words, when it comes to everybody else's vote, they offer some substance for it. When it comes to your vote, they just offer you symbolism. In other words, if you get Barack Obama elected, they think the only thing you need for that is a pat on the head for getting him elected. While every other group, it's like, hey, Negro, if you want us to elect you, you're going to have to do this, 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 and this. In fact, just to show you how weak we are as a voting bloc, you know what should be in the news right now? Black men should be in the news outraged. But see, the problem is you can't be in the news outraged because the black men that are in mainstream media are hand-picked Negroes. They are hand-picked, buck-broken Negroes who either are super effeminate and belong to that community, or they are weak beta males that only want to push the agenda of the left and the agenda of women. You don't have accurate representation in media, black men, because if you had accurate representation in media, there should be backlash right now against Magic Johnson for insulting you. There should be black men right now going on social media, going on mainstream media, and eviscerating Magic Johnson and telling him flat out, how dare you stand up on that podium and single us out as if we are low information voters? How dare you stand up there on that podium and single us out like we're idiots that don't know how to vote based upon our interest and based upon what we know to be right? Who the hell do you think you are, Magic Johnson? You think he would have said that? You think he would have got up there and said that about the gay vote? Hell no, he know better. He know better. He know better. I'm gonna tell you right now, black men, y'all gonna have to wake up sooner or later. Y'all gonna have to wake up sooner or later. And you're going to have to start demanding the respect you deserve. How many of you remember the scene on Lean On Me? When Crazy Joe kept on messing with the basketball coach or the football coach or whoever he was. And he grabbed that desk and flipped it over and told him flat out, you give me the respect you expect for yourself, or I will kick your black you-know-what. You're going to have one of those moments, black men. You're going to have one of those moments where you turn the desk over and demand your respect. Because that right there was disrespectful. Not only was it disrespectful, it was condescending and it was low-key racist. So let me make sure we understand this, Democratic Party. You think all you have to do to get us to vote is go get some tap dancing, basketball dribbling ass nigga to stand up there on a podium and shame us into voting, and now we gonna go vote for you because you got somebody that look like us to talk to us. It's racist. It's racist, it's condescending, and it's wrong. And if you really want to be honest in this day and age, if you really want to be honest, in this day and age, no political candidate should be addressing anybody based upon race. An American voter is an American voter. Now, some of y'all gonna say, but what about the black agenda? The black agenda, look, understand this. Understand this. The reason why black people keep losing this fight is because you want special treatment instead of your fair share. Okay? You want special treatment instead of your fair share. See, you keep getting laughed out of the room because you want special treatment that's going to give you an advantage over everybody else. Instead of demanding your fair share, which has to be taken seriously. And once you get your fair share, you build from there to gain your advantage. They're not going to give you an advantage. You have to get your own advantage, but you have to have a foundation to start from. And that foundation is your fair share. See, it's not whining or complaining or begging when you are asking for something that everyone else has. But I'm going to tell you right now, you're never going to be able to do it as long as they keep condescending to you. You're never going to be able to do it as long as they keep patronizing you. Let me tell you something. You were supposed to be offended when they brought Meg Thee Stallion out there. You were supposed to be offended when they brought Quavo out there. You were supposed to be offended when she said something about cooking collard greens. You were supposed to be offended when she said something about smoking weed and listening to Tupac. You were supposed to be offended when she started using some fake black accent. And you damn sure was supposed to be offended the moment that she rolled old Magic Johnson out there to try to influence your vote. It's like that Dave Chappelle skit when Keeping It Real goes wrong, when he's in that boardroom and the white guy's like, "Give me 5, Dave." Or slap me some skin. And he's like, "Bruh, won't you just shake my hand like a man? Instead of all of this, give me 5 on the black hand side and all." Black people, you got to stop letting other groups of people do that to you. Because guess what? As a black person, when you encounter a white person, how do you talk to them? You talk to them normally. Do you walk up to them and say, "Oh, well, how's it going, John? Yeah, it's a nice, lovely day today. Yeah, you're looking mighty studious." You don't do that. When you meet a Mexican dude, do you say, "Hey, Holmes, what's going on, Vato?" You don't do that. Because you, as a black man, know that is offensive. So why do you let people do that to you? The moment Kamala Harris stood up there and gave that lie, that cockamamie story about how, a lot of people, I'm really good at cooking collard greens, and a lot of people in my family like my collard greens. The moment she started saying that, instead of you black folks in that crowd going, you should have said, "Hey, wait. Why the hell are you talking about collard greens? Are you planning on opening a restaurant? You planning on opening a restaurant to sell soul food? Or are you running for the highest office in the land? Why are you talking about collard greens?" Every black person in that room should have been offended. But you know why you ain't offended? Because deep down in your heart, you know she ain't black, and you just can't wait to be accepted by every other damn group. Because you have a damn inferiority complex. So when somebody else tries to identify with you with racial stereotypes, you immediately eat that shit up because you want to be accepted so bad by everybody else. I told you, it's ridiculous. You Negroes don't even know when you're being made fun of. Then she sat up there with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes and said, "Yeah, well, I still got the same friend from kindergarten. We go to the club and it." Why are you talking about this? Why the hell are you talking about this? But here's the hilarious thing, right? You won't do that with her, but the grandson of Isaac Hayes gets mad at Donald Trump and sues him for playing one of Isaac Hayes' songs at a damn rally. So when Donald Trump is playing black music at a rally, you get offended by that. But it's cool for Kamala to bring out Meg Thee Stallion and have her twerk on stage. And then you got the nerve to wonder why you're not taken seriously. You're not taken seriously because all of the groups of people that are non-black, do you think they don't look at those shenanigans? Do you think they don't look at that shit? You think other groups aren't sitting back looking at you suing Donald Trump for playing black music at a rally like you're so damn offended, but then you're eating it up when Kamala has Meg Thee Stallion out there? You think other groups of people don't look at you and say, "Look at these damn hypocrites"? How the hell is anybody supposed to take you seriously? How? Now, Sexy Red has jumped out there and shown the whole world that she's a Trump supporter. She's even done concerts where she's got a big ass MAGA hat on the damn stage. Has Trump done an interview with her? Has Trump brought her out at a rally? No. No. Why? Because while he may like the fact that she's one of his supporters, having her at a rally would be inappropriate. It would be inappropriate. The same way Kamala having Meg Thee Stallion at a rally was inappropriate. I'm flabbergasted. I'm amazed. Like I can sit back and I can look at politics as a whole as it pertains to black people, and I can tell you everything that you're doing wrong. But you know what the problem is? The problem is, and look, I thought about this earlier, and I'm going to say this, and there's going to be a lot of people that's going to get offended by it, but it is what it is. I want everybody in here to think about some of the black people you know. Okay? If you come here to listen to the Angry Man talk about these topics, the one thing that you may recognize, and I'm not saying this to toot my own horn, I'm not saying this to give myself props, but when it comes to these topics, when it comes to these different subjects in this subject matter, I am very knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable. I'm very knowledgeable when it comes to politics. I'm very knowledgeable when it comes to the ins and outs of certain agendas, the mainstream media, the little slick games they play. I'm in the know about it. So you can't come here and judge the black community based off of my knowledge and the way I operate, right? The typical black person that you guys know, that I know, a lot of them, when it comes to politics, are dumb as dirt. Let's just be real about it. There are black folks out here right now, they don't know nothing about Candace Owens' videos exposing Kamala as far as her lineage. They don't know anything about what Kamala and them got going on when it comes to FEMA and Hurricane Helena. You know the only thing them Negroes know is that Trump is a racist and Kamala's black. That's all they know. That is all they know. They don't know nothing else. And don't care to know anything else. And let me tell you something. If you are knowledgeable about all of this stuff, in other words, you know the truth, let me tell you what is a wasted exercise. You getting into a debate with one of them Negroes about any of this shit. You would be wasting your time and creating a headache for yourself that you don't want. Because no amount of logic, no amount of discussion, no amount of facts is going to change their mind. You have some Negroes, the only thing they know is what the mainstream tells them. So most of them believe that Donald Trump is definitely a racist. I mean, it's gotten to the point where you got people, you had a woman on The View. You know what she said? She said Donald Trump is an existential threat to humanity and democracy. She said this man was an existential threat to humanity. 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 Now, if you're wondering why they're doing that, it's because they know that they're losing. That's why every time they get on the news, they just go harder in the paint, because they think the thing that the legacy media has not realized, it has lost its grip. They haven't realized they've lost their grip on controlling the masses. It's like the situation where somebody's doing something that doesn't work anymore, but it's worked for so long that you can't convince them that it doesn't work. They can't see the writing on the wall. So what they think is they have to do it harder. Oh, they must not be listening. Let me do it harder. So at first it was like, oh, Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. So now it's like, they're not listening. Donald Trump is a threat to humanity. And it's like, do you have any idea, lady, how ridiculous you sound? Do you have any earthly idea how ridiculous you sound sitting on national television saying that one human being is a threat to humanity, you moron? And after she said it, a bunch of cackling hens in the audience was... I don't think I've ever lived in a time where there were this many fully grown adults that have displayed this level of stupidity. Either that or I just didn't notice it before. Who knows? Maybe I was naive to it because I was a child. But one thing is for certain. One thing is for certain. One thing is for certain. I was not aware of how many stupid adults there are in this world. I wasn't aware. They are running the same play that they ran in 2016 on steroids. But there's only one problem. The only problem is in 2016, it worked a little better. Why? It worked a little better in 2016 because nobody knew what he was going to do. But the reason why it's not working now is because the man has been president before. He has been president before. He's been president before. And guess what? The world didn't come to an end. The world didn't come to an end. Everything, in fact, everything was just fine. Everything was peachy keen. Shout out to the H. Wood said, good show, AM speaking facts. Everything was just fine. Shout out to Roy, he said support. Shout out to AJ Neal, he said I got your 6 Dodge City Second Amendment movement. Shout out to Zacchaeus. He said he got bigger after the announcement, shaking my head. Shout out to Andre. He said either he never had it or he's patient zero. Shout out to Roy. He said if he had the bug, wouldn't his children have it? Not necessarily. Shout out to Trey. Shout out to 2 Triv. He said supporting my interests. Shout out to Randy. He said keep moving forward. Shout out to Big Mike. He said matriarchal society, effeminate men. Yo, if you hit the Cash App today, press a 1 in the chat so I can give you a wrench. If you hit the Cash App on this show, press a 1 in the chat so I can give you a wrench. Shout out to JC. He said for the hard work. We don't have a sponsor. We need a sponsor. We need a sponsor. We had a bunch of sponsors last night on the late night. Made me almost reconsider doing late night shows. Y'all give me 1 second. It never ceases to amaze me. It never ceases. Shout out to John the Baptist. He said, "What's up, Tobias Wells? Stop capping and go vote for that AKA." Yeah. Sure thing there, buddy. Sure thing there, buddy. You just make sure you don't vote for her. Which you might think that she's actually Jamaican, and considering as dark as you are, you might think that's a cue for you to go vote for her. So make sure you don't do that, buddy. But shout out to John the Baptist. Well, yeah. And I appreciate you being a sponsor, bro.
$50 boss up. Stack up and match up.
But yeah, this is proof. This is proof positive that they're spiraling. They're spiraling out of control. Like, I don't think I've ever seen. Let me ask you guys this question, and you guys can answer this for me. Has Magic Johnson ever came out and endorsed the political candidate? Have y'all ever seen that? I don't think I've ever seen that. Has Magic Johnson ever came out and endorsed a political candidate? You said he did with Obama? You said he endorsed Hillary? Wow. Holy crap. So this Negro has been tap dancing for a minute. This Negro has been shucking and jiving for a minute. Ooh. Ooh. Shout out to John the Baptist. He said, dark-skinned king, bow down, man, sacred of the sun. If you say so. If you say so. No, first of all, I am the man of the sun. You feel me? The sun shines like my skin. See, you're brother to the night. Just remember that. Okay? You're more related to the darkness. Darkness, everybody. Darkness is spreading. But yeah, that's how you know. That's how you know they're getting desperate. If they gotta roll out Magic Johnson, you know who you'll never see endorse the Democrats? Michael Jordan. They tried to get him to endorse the Democrats some years ago. Y'all remember that controversy? They tried to get him to endorse the Democrats back in the day, but Mike wasn't having it. Mike was like, nah, bruh. Go ahead and get out of my face with that BS. We not going. Because Mike is a conservative. And I think Denzel is a conservative too. I think Denzel is a conservative too. Yeah, you remember when he said that, when he said Republicans buy shoes too? Ooh. They was hot about that. Y'all remember that? They was mad about that. They was heated about that. Like they were really mad at Michael Jordan. I tell you somebody else who was a conservative. James Brown. A lot of people don't know that. James Brown was a conservative too. There's a lot of brothers back in the day that were conservatives. And guess what? The black community tried its best to beat them down because of their viewpoints, which is ridiculous. Shout out to Carla. Appreciate you. Said, I'm not shocked by MJ being conservative, a strong black Southern father he was raised by. Yeah. Yeah. Said Sammy Davis Jr. too. Mm-hmm. Has anybody noticed that you never come across any black male conservatives who aren't successful? Has anybody ever noticed that? Have you ever seen a black male conservative that wasn't successful? Now, I've seen plenty of black male Democrats that's broke as fuck. I've seen that. I've seen that. And see, that is the most sinister part of the whole thing that people don't get. You do realize that there are certain parties that know the only way to continue getting that vote is to keep you broke. Keep black men broke for the Democratic vote. Keep black men broke for the Democratic vote. Because if you start making some real money, you ain't gonna vote Democrat. Focus at AM, how can there be successful black people but they still vote Democrat? Like who? Like who? Celebrities? Who you talking about? Celebrities? You got to be talking about celebrities. And see, here's the interesting thing about celebrities. A celebrity can get up on a stage and tell you all day to vote Democrat. It don't mean they voting Democrat. In fact, I would argue that a lot of celebrities don't vote Democrat. Think about it like this. Let this sink in your brain for a second, right? Why would a celebrity that's worth millions of dollars, that generates millions of dollars, why would they vote for a party that wants to tax them more? Why would they do that? Why would they vote for a party that wants to tax them more? Shout out to John, said preach that truth. Why would they do that? Why would they vote for a party doesn't make sense, right? Does that make sense? Why would they vote for a party that wants to tax them more? And by the way, you gotta stop allowing the Democrats to play the race game 24/7. You gotta stop allowing them to play the race game 24/7. Because it's getting old. And you should be offended by it. At this point, you should be offended. You literally have a group of rich people telling poor people not to vote for one group of rich people while simultaneously telling them to vote for another group of rich people. Let that sink in for a second. What's up? Talking about punk ass Magic Johnson. Kamala Harris had him come out on a rally and say, matter of fact, this is what he said. What? No, I want you to hear it.
Now, there's a lot of black men in here, and I don't mean to, not talk to other people, but this is important. Our black men, we got to get them out to vote. That's number one.
Who the hell is he to be telling black men what they need to do? So I asked the question, I said, the title of my show is How Magic Johnson Gaslit an Entire Generation of Black People. And somebody said, how did he gaslight us? I said, by telling us that lie that he had HIV. Never thought about it, did you? One, Cookie never divorced him. She's still with him. Shaq's wife divorced him, and he ain't got the bug. Michael Jordan's wife divorced him. He ain't got the bug. For some reason, she stayed with him. This Negro, they announced the bug in like 81. 10 years later, he got it. But if you remember the climate back then, somebody said they used to call it GERD, which back then it was associated with you-know-who people. You remember that controversy? So what's the easiest way to deflect away from that? To have somebody that's popular, say it. Guess who was handling the AIDS crisis? Dr. Fauci. And currently, right now as we speak, because like somebody said in here, Magic Johnson was getting paid $1 million a year when he was playing basketball. Yeah. Right after all of that, this Negro just miraculously starts owning a bunch of shit. He's worth $1.2 billion right now. and was diagnosed during a time where that was literally a death sentence. And gained weight after. And now talks like he good. Because he lied. He lied. And I don't know why people are surprised. Look at everything that's going on right now. Look at what's going on with the music industry right now. I keep telling y'all that Gen X has been lied to. I keep telling y'all that. Keep telling y'all that. And it is all being revealed right now. It's all being revealed right now. QD Exec said, doesn't he have a daughter that was born after 92? Does he have a daughter that was born in 92? Oh, thank you. I'm going to tell y'all right now, between the celebrities that are like, everything in this year is revealing itself. Everything is being exposed, right? Everything is being exposed. So between all of the people that are connected with Diddy and all of the people that are endorsing Kamala Harris, I'm going to tell y'all something right now, Gen X. Like, at the end of the day, our entire childhood into adolescence has been one big lie. One big lie. One big lie. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, I don't think I've ever been this disappointed. I don't think I've ever been this disappointed in life with the people from our era. I've never been this disappointed. Anyway. I see some other black folks. Doggy Diamonds got a video out. He said Magic Johnson got a lot of nerve telling black people who to vote for. Woo! Woo! He live right now. I wonder if he was watching my stream.
One time. I've always did that shit. That's what we do in New York. It's nothing racial about it. We just naturally do that shit. I'm serious.
His live started 60 minutes ago. Let me ask y'all this question. And you guys let me know if I'm tripping or not, right? For the people that are still in here. Because you got some people leaving out of here. Guess it's, past their bedtime or whatever. But does your boy have that type of influence? And look, I'm not fishing for a compliment. I genuinely want to know, because here's something I've been noticing lately. I'll do a show, and then once the show is over, I'll scroll through YouTube, and I'll notice that a lot of people will be talking about the topic that I just got through talking about. And I can't figure out if they're just talking about it because it's popular. But then I'd be like, well, if they were talking about it because it's popular, why did they wait until after to talk about it? Why? Because, this Magic Johnson thing, if I'm not mistaken, been happened. It happened yesterday or the day before, I'm not sure. Is it possible? Has the angry man gotten to a space where I'm actually influential? Is that possible? See, Abdul said, you absolutely do, AM. How many black men outside of traditional celebrity spaces have more juice than you? Not many. I appreciate that, Abdul. And by the way, John the Baptist, you may not know this, but I'm going to just let you know. Because I appreciate you being a sponsor. Trust and believe. But I have a rule over here on the channel. I tend not to read the $2 super chats out loud. You feel me? I'll pop them up on the screen. You feel me? And let everybody else read them. But if you want me to read them out loud, if you want me to read them out loud, they got to be $5 or better. I can hear the people in the peanut gallery now. Did you hear what he said? This Negro said that if you send him a $2 super chat, he's not even going to read it. How dare he? Who the hell does he think he is? This Negro is tripping. Actually, I'm not. Why do I say I'm not? I watched Shannon Sharp do a whole show. And I don't know, I guess the traditional celebrities get leeway like that. But you know what I noticed? The traditional celebrities, when they come over to YouTube and they do live shows, they treat the show like it's a regular TV show. You look at somebody like Shannon Sharp, he does his shows like he's on ESPN. In other words, they don't read the chat. They don't read the super chats. Hell, they don't even acknowledge the chat. They just be up there doing the show, just, they don't even acknowledge. And look, it is what it is at the end of the day. You feel me? That's how they want to run their show. Cool. You feel me? But the way I run my show is I'm not going, because people are $2 you to death. You know that, right? People will sit back, you feel me? And they'll hit you with $2 messages. So you'll have to keep reading what they saying, like $2, $2, $2, $2, $2. I'm like, nah, bro. We're not doing all of that. We're not doing all of that. Mm-mm. We're not doing all of that. What is going on this Saturday night? I don't see anybody else really live like that. What is going on? You lazy bums. Am I the only guy in the space that's live right now? John the Baptist said, just sending your great dark-skinned kings who make black folk respectable. You don't have to read them. The point was made. You just wait. You just wait, John the Baptist. You just wait until the next time I catch you on a panel. I'm going to have nothing but pure smoke for you, my friend. Nothing but pure smoke. But anyway, I've been on here long enough. We about to hit the 3-hour mark. So, salute to everybody that came through. I will be back at you guys tomorrow evening. If you haven't checked out my book, go over to Amazon, type The Angryman Standard in the search bar, and it will come up. Or you can hit the link down in the description. It's available in paperback and hardcover. Also, if you want to check out the merchandise, you can go over to shop.binonation.com. Again, that is shop.binonation.com, or you can click the links that are on the screen if you want to check out the merchandise. But other than that, man, salute to everybody that came through. I appreciate you guys for tuning into the show. It's been fun. Shout out to everybody that hit the like button. Salute to the whole BINO Nation. And with that being said, I'm out of here. Deuces.
Spartans! What is your profession?